Hi guys, I'm Plowman and you are with my new chat show called One Move, One Meal. My first guest is going to be Josh Blake from the famous parkour group Storror. Now I'm on my way to his apartment. I cannot let you know where he lives. Let's see if he's gonna answer. Alright, enter. Alright.
Yeah, hello.
Hello Josh.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll let you up.
Oh, thank you. Alright. Yep, we're gonna get to see him now. Right. No, was it this one?
How's it going? How's it going, guys? Nice to see you. Cool, you want to come through?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay, well, first thing first, I'm pleased that you invited me in your house. How are you feeling?
No worries. Yeah, I'm feeling good today. Yeah, really nice weather outside, so that's a good start. Generally feeling pretty good. I've got a little bit of a shoulder injury at the moment, but apart from that, life goes on.
And what you've been up to lately? What you've been doing?
So I guess
actually
we haven't seen each other in such a long time. Obviously, like we
tell the
used to work
audience.
together at a company called SpringFit, which is like a gymnastics and trampoline company in Surrey area, I guess. So yeah, it's been like a long time coming that we have a reunion, and said you've got this project going on, so I thought it'd be cool to just meet up and have a conversation. A lot of places have been like closed, or people's normal life hasn't been able to continue the way it normally should have gone. So I've been using it as an opportunity to try and learn new skills or get more strong, get more healthy. I've got these kettlebells, and obviously the gyms are closed, so I haven't been able to do my normal exercises, but I've just been trying to adapt, I guess. So I can still train, reading a lot of books, trying to make video content still, trying to be creative and do projects and try and use the time to grow, because I think a lot of people might be tempted into just watching Netflix or watching series or kind of lazing about, but I think it's a good opportunity to try and not get a head start, but use it as something to boost you. So when everything opens up and it's back to normal again, you can do some cool stuff.
Yeah, I like that mindset, man. That word, adapt, that you mentioned is like such a thing. And you said you were not able to train the way that you used to train, so you got those kettlebells and stuff like that. So you tried to improve in other areas, for example, that may have lacked in the past, or something you just need to improve even further now.
Exactly,
yeah. The time.
Just fun, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Fun to keep improving.
I was looking through your Instagram. I'm gonna put it up here, what his Instagram is. So I was looking at your Instagram and I saw a few cool moves that you've done, and I was wondering, what is probably the most adventurous photo that you took with your phone and you still have it? Maybe we can show it up. Have you?
I'm trying to think, yeah, I guess it would be Instagram would be like a good place to start with that. Something when we went on a trip called Roof Culture Asia, which is where we went to 3 big Asian megacities to film a documentary back in it's actually 2016, I guess. Whoa. And we were trying to jump between these different skyscrapers and buildings. And
how high was that?
Some of them
people would be like
30 stories or
30 stories.
Really high buildings.
One thing I was always wondering, I don't know if those ones that are watching, but now, for example, when you jump from one building to another, and you roughly know the distance, I guess, how do you get to practice that? Do you know?
Okay, yeah, it's a massive process that goes into it. I think a lot of people would see parkour or see the movements that people are doing, and they see it as like an adrenaline junkie sport, which I think, and all my friends think, is a very inappropriate title. But I could see how you could think that just from looking at it from the outside. But you said, what's the process of doing these things? It's like, you want to make sure, first of all, you measure the distance out.
People, they see at the top, they see what you actually do, but they don't see all the preparation, all the work that you put into before you're actually able to execute that thing.
If anyone does care to watch our vlogs or our videos, if you watch the behind the scenes or just a casual episode, you'll see that there's a lot of planning that goes into it. And yeah, I guess, that's something that needs to be pushed, or a narrative that needs to be pushed when you see these kind of extreme sports or action sports. It's not necessarily an adrenaline junkie who's just not tested the waters first and just jumped into a pot of boiling hot water. They actually make sure and test first, and then they execute. My thing is more flows. I don't know, like linking a series of moves in like a stylish and interesting way, I'd say. And like climbs and that kind of stuff. I'd say like over the years I've had quite a lot of injuries. I've had like an injury in my right leg where like a ligament got kind of dislodged in my leg, so it kind of actually affected my confidence with more precision jumps and stuff. So, and it kind of, I had the fear that maybe if I did land wrong or I did roll out of it wrong, I would actually hurt my leg. So I had to, like you said, adapt my style to change to more of like an artistic kind of fluid kind of creative style, and I really enjoyed it.
If I wanted to do parkour, what move you gonna teach me, or what
I'd
move
say
you
a precision
gonna...
jump is really important, or like a roll is quite important, because like it's not necessarily my favorite move, but it's the move that if I was teaching someone, you wouldn't teach them the fundamentals and the basics first. It's like, again, with gymnastics, it's a good, although they're very different, like you can kind of apply the same kind of logic. Is that you'd want to teach someone the fundamentals so they're going to be able to be safe to practice, and when you've got your fundamentals strong, then you can add your own flavors and your own brush strokes, I guess. I think at the moment I'm really enjoying creativity and like exploring things maybe that haven't been tried, or they don't have like a specific name to them, but it's just trying new things. Being free, yeah, exactly.
Creative.
Yeah, exactly. I guess parkour is good in the sense that you're not bound by any particular rules. You've got the fundamentals that a lot of people will teach, but it gets to the point where you can experiment and be yourself and use your creativity to find out whatever you want to do. So that's what I really like about parkour, is that there's not, although there are like fundamentals, there's no rules, and that's kind of why I gravitate towards it in the first place. No one's saying you have to have your toes together or you have to point your toes. You know, it's more just like do whatever you want and express yourself and express your style.
Alright, so if you had to give me one tip, if I'm just starting doing parkour now, if you had to give me one tip, what would that tip be? What would be something that I need to focus on? Shall I improve my strength, flexibility, or where should I start from?
Because parkour is such a full body activity. It's like, obviously swimming is no impact, but parkour, when you do parkour, I've had people who've come out for a day and they are quite strong, they go to the gym, but because they're using everything at once, you have to use all the muscles. I'd say maybe the type of conditioning you should do should be conditioning that involves multiple parts of the body at once. Because normally when you go to the gym or you see someone doing a gym exercise, it's very isolated movements, closed chain. So they'll be doing like a bicep curl, or like, I don't know, like a bench press, or even a squat. Like a squat is very two-dimensional. You know what I mean? You don't really go outside of this range. You're not adding much thoracic rotation into your movement. So having something that is more 3D, or a movement that's maybe a kettlebell swing, or you're stepping back, or you're trying to involve multiple parts of the body at once, I'd say that's a really good starting point. It's like try and start with some conditioning that's gonna involve more of your body, and then maybe some basic jumps and safety. It's just the most really important thing as well. Checking your objects, your surfaces, making sure it's all safe. That's kind of paramount, because if you hurt yourself, it's going to set you back, and then you might not be able to train for a few weeks. So,
who is the parkour person that everyone should know?
Well, that's a very hard question, because like parkour is such like a multifaceted discipline, and there's so many people that do it across the world, and there's almost no one best person. But if you want to say like obviously I'd say Storror, but no, I'm joking.
Besides you,
yeah, no, I'm joking. No, it's fine. The person you probably should know of, and probably have seen if you have Instagram, is a guy called Dom Tomato, and he's basically an Australian guy. He's like, some people would say he's got like a crazy mentality, but obviously after meeting him and knowing him as a person, he seems like he's kind of like got quite a good gauge of what to do and what not to do. But he's doing very big front flips and big gaps and big jumps, and he's got over 1 million followers on Instagram, Dom Tomato. So if anyone wants to check him out, cool Australian dude, funny guy, interesting person, a lot of personality. Part of a team called Team Farang. That's like a mix of people from different countries who have come together to form one team, made by a guy called Jason Paul out of, I think, Frankfurt in Germany. So yeah, Dom Tomato is one to look out for. And also in the same team, there's another guy called Pasha Petkins, who's a guy from Latvia originally, and he's also got 1 million followers on Instagram. Really creative, super creative movements, like always making up new things and new flips and different styles. So yeah, those two are really interesting people to look out for. But Dom Tomato, I guess, is at the moment is doing the most, what people would say is crazy stuff, but it's very well thought out and calculated. So really interesting guy.
What is the best piece of advice you have ever received? Like, Any? Can you remember anything that it's?
Okay, so yeah, okay, this is quite interesting actually. Yeah, so before this place, before where I lived here, before then, I lived in a place in Red Hill with my girlfriend Stanislava, and we actually lived with a guy called Paul, and he was a quite a cool character. Like he worked night shifts, right, and he did have some cool insights to share, but one thing he said to me that really struck me, and I didn't really understand it at the time he said it, but now I've kind of progressed on in life, I get it a lot more. He said, "What you see, what you believe is what you see." So, whatever you believe in your head, whatever's inside of you, whatever you're thinking, whatever your internal environment is, going to manifest and going to be shown on the outside and what you do. Because a lot of people are victim to their circumstances, or they're very reactive to their environment, which is a natural human thing. But if you go inside and you work on yourself on the inside, then your outside world will change. So whatever is on the inside has an effect on the outside. And that's kind of been the biggest thing that I've learned in the last 10 years, I'd say.
Wow.
Because it had such a big impact on my life. Sometimes I'll be blaming my environment, blaming things around me, or he did this or she did that, but that doesn't matter. You have the choice to be able to sidestep all of that and just focus on your internal growth. And then when you focus on your internal growth, your external world will change. And that's probably been the biggest thing ever for me.
Okay, and once we're in those deep topics and stuff, what you're most afraid of? Is there anything that you're afraid of?
Of course, loads of stuff.
There's
always fears going through my head, constantly.
There's fear in everyone. I have fears, and I think it's important to convey the message that it's normal to have a fear.
Of course.
It's normal for something not to be okay. Not necessarily everything has to be okay. So
when these thoughts come up in my head, like I think before, again, I was reactive to it. I'd be like, oh, I'm scared. And then maybe like I would shut off or whatever. But now when these thoughts and things come into my head, I observe them and let them pass. I just feel them. I sit in it. I experience it, and then I let it go. But if you're just like, then sometimes, and you don't want to come to terms with it, it can build, it can fester, it can get stronger, and then it will have, a direct impact on your life. So whatever's within is a reflection of the without. Like human nature is to react to stuff sometimes. Like if someone's shouting, you just shout back. You know what I mean? Like just chill out, assess the situation, think, and then when you start to learn to control those elements of yourself, the external world will change, because people will treat you differently. They'll act differently around you, or you'll find different friends, or you'll be in different situations.
What is one thing that you see yourself you won't be able to learn it, or you cannot do?
Nothing. Everything's possible, I think. Honestly, like it's just a journey of trying it, the journey of doing it through repetition, through belief, through changing the circumstances, through meeting the right people. I believe that anything's possible. You could do whatever. Obviously, I don't want to sound like an ego person, but it's not from a place of ego. It's just from a place of faith and belief that whatever you put your mind to and work on and try and refine for a long enough amount of time, or short enough amount of time for some people, the results will come. But it's just, you have to keep going, dedicating the time, dedicating the energy, believing. I think belief is such a big part of it, because it's almost like you're setting yourself a subconscious block when you don't. It's like, oh, that's never going to happen. Of course it's not going to happen if you don't think it's going to happen, right? It starts within here. It starts with this thought of you going, the spark turns on, the light turns on, you have a paradigm shift, and you're like, oh, maybe I can do it. And then you can do it. So there's lots of stuff I can't do currently, but if I want to try and work on it, and I want to try and get it better, and I put a lot of time and effort into it, you can make anything happen. The people behind the camera, anything can happen. It's all possible.
One very interesting question, at least to me. I want to know, what is the one thing in your life that you want to achieve the most? It's a deep question. It's
mastery of my mind, I guess. That's literally it. Like if I can control my mind, then I'm sorted. Really, if you can control your mind, then I don't know. I feel like you've won almost. Like full control over the mind. Like whether it being like gaining knowledge, reading, the meditations, to training, it all comes down to psychology. Like if you look at the great sportsmen or athletes, the ones who actually take it further, because with exercise, don't get me wrong, it's very important to condition and get stronger and repeat, but to even have the motivation to start exercising, you have to be able to think to be able to do it, right? Same with doing a hard thing or a scary jump or a difficult move. You see people who don't have crazy physiques or anything, and they're doing like crazy stuff. It's like mad movement, or I don't know, achieving loads of things. It's like it all starts in the brain first. I feel like the more you hunt for something, sometimes the more it can run away from you if you've not got the right mindset as well. Like if you're not thinking about it in the correct way, or you're beating yourself up about certain things, then your confidence will go down, and that's what's going to hold you back. It's all about your internal image of yourself and the way in which you outwardly and inwardly connect with the world, that people's opinions are going to be structured around you, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm really crap at this sport, or I did that so badly, or I didn't do that really good, then before you know it, that negative feedback loop of, oh, I'm not good, it's going to be in your mind. And then when you go out and try and perform or hang out with people, they're going to be able to sense your low confidence, or they're going to be able to see that you're not fully believing in what you say.
Do you think we can relate parkour with arts?
For sure.
Like, because you're being artistic,
the thing that you're... It's literally having a blank canvas and then just like drawing your own little piece of art on the spot. So you might see somewhere that looks really cool, or it's got an interesting vibe, you like the look of it, and then it's like you're applying your style and your own individuality into this space, and you're creating something. So that kind of sounds like art to me. And I think the cool thing about parkour is it's multifaceted. There's lots of different elements of it. You've got the artistic style of it, you've got the athletic side of it, do you know what I mean? People are trying to push whatever they want, so someone could be trying to do the biggest jump that they can do and the hardest things in that sense, and it's more pushing towards an athletic style.
Yeah.
But then you've got someone else, maybe like me, who, although I do apply my strength and power to parkour, I still like to put my own artistic spin on it. So I would define myself more of an artist with it, really.
And you look quite stylish. I've seen your posts and things like that. Can you give us any advice? How do you carry yourself? Again, I don't want to be generalized, but the best thing you can do to express yourself is to be your own unique person, because the gift that you have is the fact that you're unique. No one else is exactly like you. No one else has the same DNA, the same makeup as you. So you can express something that no one else has. Although I'm inspired by other people, I don't want to take exactly what he's wearing and put it. I'm not going to wear the exact same outfit as him. I'm just going to pick what I enjoy and what I like, and then remix things and have my own style. I think being genuinely and authentically and organically you is the best thing that you can do. And what is the boldest parkour move that you've ever done?
I'd say I'd relate it back to the height stuff, I guess. There's a couple of jumps I did in the Roof Culture Asia. One was it's an arm jump, it's called. So it's like when you jump from an object and you land on your hands and feet on the wall. And there's one that I did in Seoul, I think it was really high up, where it was like a few steps into a running arm jump, they call it. And I think it went quite viral on Instagram. Like some of the pages that posted it got millions of views, and people were like, oh, how are you doing? That's really risky. So I guess that would be a crazy movement.
Yeah, and that is what we discussed earlier in our chat, that it's all the work that you've put before that. It's not like, oh, no way, I can make that. Well, I think it's time to go and eat something now.
Awesome, yeah, I'm well up for that.
And that would be our next thing to do.
Cool, let's go.
Okay, thanks a lot for inviting me here.
Enjoying life, walking on the streets, everybody seems happy. Good. The burger place is down there on the left. If you don't have that, then what else do you have? So I reckon my overall goal is to try and reach a level where it is just consistently healthy, and maybe once a week I have a treat, but then at the moment I'm very flexible. So I feel like the fasting definitely saves me in some elements, but maybe if I'm more consistent with these certain good habits, I'll notice even an improvement in my performance training and just in general health. I definitely think it's down to your natural instincts again. It's like you're almost going into your biology and you're going back to almost like caveman time of your body, of how like when you were out in the savannah as a caveman, when you needed to eat food and you needed to hunt, that energy would come out so you could survive. So it's like you said, I need to do something, I've got something to focus on. So when cavemen were out there hunting with spears and stuff, they knew that they had to find this food, and their body and their chemistry motivated them into getting this food, and not eating was the motivator. They had to, the energy was produced because of the fact they needed to get it. So it's like a natural way of the body going like, bro, you haven't eaten for this long, focus more, work harder, and then you can get the benefits of it. So it's like you're hacking
the rewards.
You're
you
hacking,
need to work for it.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's hacking your mindset.
Good burgers.
Definitely nice.
Thanks for taking me to that place. I really enjoyed it. And
really appreciate it.
The best part is that apparently they try to source the meat locally.
Yeah,
so
that as well.
That's really nice.
Definitely a good thing. Like I said, I really enjoy these kind of independent creators who, like, again, it could be food, it could be anything, music. I just kind of enjoy supporting that. Like, instead of going to like a big chain, like a fast food place where you're not really going to have as much track of where the ingredients come from, it's good to find somewhere or see somewhere that's like really trying to get the meat locally and bring it all in, kind of not organically per se, but like get it from a local source. I think that's really cool.
Good, and yeah, they tasted healthy. I really like it.
Yeah, tasted good.
I like that option. Definitely, tasted good.
Yeah.
For the healthy part, we're not that sure.
Like almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they definitely tasted good.
Yep.
And cool, man. It was
really amazing
to catch up with you.
Definitely.
I had the pleasure to spend some time with George, ask him a few questions, and now it's time for me to go back home, and he's gonna head over to his friends to have a barbecue. All right. See you in the next one. Cheers.
See you later. Awesome.
All right. All right, let's go home.